We are live. This is not a Thursday. This is a Friday. Thank you for joining our market update. We usually do this on Thursday at 4 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock, almost ready for happy hour. Thank you guys for being here.
Wow, wait a minute. It's almost ready for 2 o'clock. We're almost at happy hour, Vinnie. You must have
what's that happy hour? What, 2:30? 2:15?
When does happy hour start? I mean, typically, isn't it like 4 o'clock?
Wow.
Happy hour?
I didn't realize you were such a party animal. I mean,
4 o'clock? I mean, I could do happy hour at 4 o'clock, 4 to 6. Usually, traditionally, Fridays, I do 5 to 7, full disclosure.
Well, that's not happy hour. That's basically dinner.
Happy dinner hour.
All right, so we're going to jump into it, go over what's going on in the real estate market. You see the clicker below. Not a lot really change right there. Yeah, we've seen inventory slightly go up, pending properties, again, slightly go up. But honestly, nothing really too crazy. But let's talk about rates. That's people always get excited about that. You want to jump on rates?
You want to talk about the elephant in the room?
Oh, there you go.
I wore this because, well, first of all, my mother-in-law just got back from South Africa, and I really like elephants anyways. But for the elephant in the room, so as Vinnie brought up this chart, you can take a look at it and see for the longest period of time we've been going over this. Once again, these are for a lot of your better retail lenders and better banks in the industry, which a lot of other lenders' rates are going to be way worse than this. So this site is actually a really good way to monitor things for you as a consumer, because as me and Vinnie were just talking about this prior to us going live, is unfortunately a lot of lenders will just lie about their rates because you can't lock them now while you're looking for a mortgage. So shout out to a lot of people out there who are falling to the tricks of lenders who just go, oh, my rate's 6%, which is not true. And then when you get a contract, they come back and say it's worse than what Vinnie is showing. So as you look at the rates above, you know, for good lenders, this is what's considered good. The 30-year fix is almost 7%. Your FHA is at 6.45. Your VA is at 6.47. Now, for other lenders who are more unique and set up differently in the business, and I'll use myself as a comparison because I am set up differently, I'm about 0.375 lower on the 30-year fixed. On the FHA, I'm 0.5% lower, and on the VA, I'm 0.5% lower, which is a lot. And on the jumbo, I'm only 25 basis points lower on that. And for those loans, these rates are all quoted with basically 740 FICOs. My APR would be 0.125, which is very small. A lot of these other ones here that they list here is usually a little bit higher, like when you take things into consideration, because a lot of these lenders post things with points. That's something you got to be careful with because the market is changing so much with the data, like the data that came out this week. The new data came out. So for the latest reading, our income went up 0.8%. That's not very much. And the next thing that you really want to look at, because everyone's asking when are rates going to come down? Well, the inflation, this is what inflation is at now. Inflation on a 12-month average is now at 2.5%. But to get technical on it, if you look at the core PCE rating, it rose 0.1%, which is not very much in April. And now we're basically averaging inflation at 2.1%. So why do we mention this? We mention it because everyone's waiting to see loosening of lending and money. Well, the lower this inflation gets, the more likely it is for the Fed to finally jump in and start lowering its lending window rates. Now, when the Fed lowers rates, it doesn't directly correlate to mortgage rates going down. In fact, for good lenders, it's usually priced in 2 weeks ahead of time. But the overall economy is going to benefit greatly if the Fed does lower its core lending rate. And at the way we're tracking right now, it looks like we may get to that in 8 months. I know that last time, Vinnie, we looked at the options market to look at the futures to see what they think is going to happen. I'm still going to say at the next meeting in June, nothing happens. It stays the same. And once again, my prediction is you won't see any good movement until probably October, November of this year. But overall, sorry.
No, I was going to say something separately from this that's going to be interesting to see how, because yes, if this is your first time looking to buy or you've been kind of on the fence for the last couple of years, yes, what David said a second ago of we're at 7%, in that ballpark. What the hell, right? Like 7%. I thought we were at 5, right? I mean, so there's a lot of craziness. There's a lot of people on the fence, honestly, waiting for rates to go lower. Another thing that just came out where you had a proposal by the city of San Diego. Remember that ADU thing that was passed in California about 2 years ago?
Yes.
ADUs, right? So it's proposed right now in San Diego, the city of San Diego, that the city of San Diego can do it. So
what do you mean? Because I saw some changes are being made where they don't want corporations doing it now, but they're going to.
No, this is basically they're proposing it right now that you can sell your ADU.
Oh man!
So it's proposed right now. So we'll see what passed. But we talked about this, and I had a theory. You can go back to that episode when this was coming out in California, and if San Diego was going to pick it up. That if this was picked up, the idea behind it, right, was saying that this is for the grandma that has equity in her property, but she doesn't want to do a reverse mortgage or sell or blah, blah. So what's she going to do? They're going to build an ADU, sell it to one of their kids, and now she has some money instead of doing the reverse mortgage and live in the property, all hunky-dory. But what's happened is they've created the guidelines of ADUs and JDUs. So I really think...
Why did you say JDUs? What's a JDUs? That's not...
A junior additional dwelling unit.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. So wait a minute. I know for the consumer out there, junior ADU means extremely high price per square foot because of the amount of fees and building. So that means if your normal house is, let's say, 600 square foot, your JDU is $980 a square foot.
Yeah, that's right. But the thing that I still project, if this does come to pass and the proposal goes through, you're going to see investors buying properties
and doing this
and doing it all day, and it's going to have an interesting effect on the market. I could see basically the detached market. I mean, I don't know. You can see the detached market going up because people buying off speculation.
Well, yes, I would agree with you, but let's take a look at something that so. Full disclosure, I'm married. Vinny's married. We're family people. We buy houses to raise families in, and it's nice to raise a house and a family on a nice street in a nice neighborhood. So what happens when you start building JDUs everywhere and splitting them off and not having more parking? And now in your neighborhood that used to be quiet and quaint is now stockpiled with cars and renters that don't treat things the same way as you do. So you're essentially making communities not as good as places to live for people that desire to live in great family-oriented communities. I think I understand why they're doing it because, I mean, full disclosure, California is idiot for government policies. They got to win the stupid award, but you're not going to solve the housing crisis by building JDUs and letting people build an ADU in my backyard of 4 units and then sell it off to another person. And then
I can just see the storm that could happen from it because they're going to have to put together, I'm assuming, some CC&Rs, right?
Oh, 100%. There's got to be something depending on how you do it because what if you build 3 units in your backyard and then you want to sell it off? Like, are they going to be?
And then just imagine when that person resells it down the road of, okay, this is what actually happened, right? Here are the CC&Rs, but this is actually what we go forward with because I mean, we've all seen it. There's CC&Rs that are out there that basically no one really abides by, right? So it's going to be interesting if this proposal goes through. I know the idea of what they're hoping to get out of it, and it could, I mean, help people with reverse mortgages instead of doing a reverse mortgage, you do this. But
small percentage. That's
I look at the pessimistic side on this, and I can see basically, yeah. So it'd be interesting. But
Vinny, what about if you build I'm not going to say JDU just because it sounds so cool. Let's say you build your normal ADU in your backyard and it's three units. And each unit is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath that now you piece off and sell independently. So now you build your ADU and you build 3 units and you build studios, but now they're essentially cloud condos and there's no functioning HOA, which means you can't get traditional financing, which means now you have to go non-QM, and now the condos that you sold that used to get a rate of whatever 6.75 is now 9. Something to think about too. Cloud condos.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of moving parts. Please, guys, subscribe, share. If If you have any questions, anything like that, comment below, reach out. We would love to talk about that subject in our next video. We try to keep it short and sweet, 10 minutes. That's our time. Thanks, guys. Reach out if you have any questions. See you. Peace.
All right, bye.